A very good morning to you and welcome to Signature Morning here on Signature TV. My name is Godwin Sunday. When you hear the word Abuja, a lot of things come to your mind and come to your head. First is that you're coming to a city that is multifaceted, not just the political hub of Nigeria, but a town that is promising with a lot of potentials. But when most people get to Abuja, they realize that a lot of things are not adequately put in place, such as economic policy, governmental policies, political structures, and what of this. Now, there is one pertinent conversation that has been in the lips of many that have sojourned to the Federal Capital Territory, and that conversation is that there are no businesses in Abuja. That's why we want to talk to a business expert this morning. If at all there are businesses in Abuja, and if yes, how can one even get access to those businesses? Joining me in this conversation this morning is Dr. Lydia Odianusen Jimmy. She'll be joining us on this conversation. She is a CEO of Veronica Chris Consulting. We'll be talking about Abuja this morning. You're welcome to Signature Morning.
Good morning.
All right, Dr. Lydia, let's even begin the conversation. You heard from the opening a lot of allegations that have been labeled on Abuja, that there are no businesses in Abuja. But how correct is this narrative?
Well, that's not completely correct. There are businesses in Abuja, but I see Abuja as a town of opportunity, as a city of so many opportunities, right? So we might have businesses, but we might not have enough businesses. That means people that find their way to Abuja have more opportunities of opening their business and getting more financial opportunities, unlike other places like Lagos. You see, Lagos is like the commerce city of Nigeria, right? And if you look at it, even as populated as that place is in business and everything, they still open more businesses every day. That's to tell you that Abuja cannot compete with Lagos yet in commerce. That's to say we have more opportunities here than in any other place. This is the political seat of the nation. Everything will drive back home to Abuja. But if you look at it, we have a lot of foreigners settling in our nation. So where the birds are gathering, there's carcass there. So we should sit down and try to see what foreigners see in this place, that they are settled there, that we are not seeing, so that we can make profit of our own environment.
The conversation on many lips is that Abuja is the federal capital for unemployment. That is the number of unemployed people in the Federal Capital Territory is something to write home about. But let's look at this. Is it correct to say that there are a large number of unemployed people even within the Federal Capital Territory?
That's very true. There's a large number of unemployed people with the wrong orientation. Because this population are expecting the government to employ them. It's not possible. The government cannot employ everybody, let's be honest. So these people, they should enterprise, they should go into entrepreneurship, they should go into other businesses. It has become so because they all found their way here thinking one appointment is going to come, one employment is going to, everybody's looking at federal. There's not so much federal government can do for us. They cannot employ everybody. Most developed countries were developed by the people themselves, not just government. We see other countries whereby government take loan from private sectors, right? Although we know that Nigeria is a country that eats its own, right, with the high rate of taxes being put upon private sectors, but we are thriving and we are trying. But you cannot just sit down and wait for employment. You should also create employment for other people by creating a business that will bring in one person or two. So thereby reducing the rate of unemployment in the streets.
Dr. Lydia, people say, but you are more in the business space, so you should have a better understanding of probably this is a correct narrative for Abuja again. The level of inequality in terms of the job distribution in Abuja. Some people will say that it is man no man kind of scenario that gives job in Abuja. Again, these are challenges that we tend to peg around the business communities in Abuja. Again, is this a correct narrative?
Well, it's everywhere. It's not just Abuja. Man, no man, right? Yeah, it's everywhere. It's not just Abuja. I think a major part of personal development is network and relationship building. You should know how to build the right network. You should know how to build the right relationship because it profits you. It will profit you in every way, right? So it's the person you know that you go an extra mile for, is the person you know that you let into some opportunities are in around you. Let me give an example. If this organization wants to empower somebody and you know somebody that needs an empowerment, that's an advantage for that person. So you say, oh, my organization wants to empower, wants to empower people. Can you just come in before it to go general? You understand? It's not just Nigeria or Abuja. It's a human being behavior. It's everywhere around the world. That's why networking and relationship building and management is a skill people should learn as personal development skill, so that you have the right people in your nest, that when opportunity comes around or the environment, people will bring you into those opportunities. So I guess that's it.
Mrs. Lydia, but on the more practical terms, are there business opportunities even in Abuja?
Yes,
let's talk about these opportunities in Abuja, if there are any at all.
Okay.
So let's look at it.
So you see, Abuja is full of businesses actually, right? Every day the population keeps increasing, and let me tell you, population is money. People is money. As long as the population is increasing, there's more money for us to make in the city. The only thing you have to do is to think about what is not being done properly by somebody else, or what is not being managed properly by somebody, or an idea that is not already bettered. You can go as far as traveling to other states to see what's being done there and import it down here. For example, initially this was like a nothing related environment, but now we are seeing amala spots everywhere. These ideas were imported from the West by some certain people who went there and discovered that, oh, these things are flourishing there, and they brought it down here, knowing that, okay, in one way or the other, to flourish. Look at it right now. It's flourishing everywhere. We have multiple amala spots I can name, right? So you don't have to just start with something. Most organizations you see become these big organizations today, they started by selling one thing, doing one other thing. Just start something. I'm telling you, as practical as it is, people come to help people that have been into something. They don't just come to help you from nowhere. If I'm going to invest in somebody, I must have seen what you've been doing. I'll say, okay, maybe you've tried and failed and tried and failed. I'll say, okay, let me help you from here. But people want to be helped from nothing. It doesn't work like that. The people in Abuja I have seen, they sit down and have an imaginary idea and they don't even put any effort into it. But no, people should invest their effort. You should first invest in yourself before somebody else will want to come and invest in you. But nobody will invest in you when you have not taken time to invest in yourself.
So when we did a survey, we went to different divisions of the Federal Capital Territory to have conversation with young people. There is one thing that is striking, and that is the fact that business conversations tend to be strange, even within the Federal Capital Territory. I'm curious, why is this so?
I think the business, the understanding of business is not well known, mostly in this environment. Unlike the eastern part of the world, the eastern part of the world, they are empowered. They are empowered. So it's part of their tradition to learn business, right? So there are other parts of the world whereby business is taken seriously, but there are other parts whereby business is not really taken seriously. So I think Abuja, it has come to a point whereby people should be trained on entrepreneurship from secondary school. Entrepreneurship should be a course they should teach them, because the idea they give people from childhood is, oh, get a good career, get a good grade, get good skills so that you can get a job. So who is going to employ all these people? Everybody. So we cannot. The government cannot employ everybody. These organizations that we have that have successfully thrived cannot employ everybody. So if you have these skills, I think we should pay more attention to training people on business. Business is not comfortable, and another thing I've understood is that many youths, they want the easy way out of life. It's nothing like that. All the big names we have in the industry, they did not just wake up and become big names. No matter how much you give somebody as a capital, they must fail in business. I'm telling you, they must fail. Failure is part of the invoice you use to grow in business. If you've not failed in business, you've not really done business. So people are afraid to fail, so they just like pull back, and everybody wants to fail. Everybody wants to be safe. They don't want to take the risk of failure. They don't want to take the risk of bankruptcy. They don't want to take the risk of owing, being indebted. All these are risks, business risks. But nobody wants to take those risks. But yet they want to come into somebody's already established business and just begin to be paid salary. So it won't do well. They need to be trained on risk. That risk is part of life. You know, imagine for you now, you choose, like, you woke up this morning and you're like, the water is too cold, I won't bathe. And because of, some people have this fear of cold water. So if you imagine all those little fears that creep into our mind, imagine we pay attention to them. We won't take major steps in life. But these are the same thing with business. Many people don't want to take risk at all. They don't want to pay the rent, they don't want to pay staff, there are a lot of risk they don't want to take. And I think people should be educated that risk is not bad. The what's called well-managed risk. You understand the risk. That's why if you want to start a business, I have a tip template to start the business. The first way to start a business is to read. People don't want to read. That's the problem. They don't want to. But if you read very well, you'll be able to manage your risk. Even if you're going to take this risk, you will be able to manage it. If you want to do business, two things you must do. You must have enough knowledge and very good mentorship.
Now we'll come back to this business side of the conversation. But then, to a very large extent, people will say that business coaches like yourself are not doing enough orientational programs to be able to drive home some of what we preach. But you are in that space. Will it be correct to say that business coaches in Abuja are not doing enough in this regard?
Well, I think we don't have enough business coaches. I think business consulting in this part of the world is not taken seriously. I remember when I started my business consulting firm, and they were like, what is that? What are you going to be doing for me? So they didn't understand that business consulting is a business of its own, and it's a very tedious one because I have to study every business model. So whether you are running a mortuary and you need a business consultant, I have to study your business. Whether you are selling anything strange, I have to study your business. Business consultants study every business model and begin to dish out. It's like a doctor. I will say it's a business doctor. So we come into your business, diagnose what is wrong with your business, and help you, scale through the illness of your business. And people that don't know how to do business, or people that don't know anything about business, begin to retrain you, begin to reorientate you. So that's what business. Abuja doesn't have enough. In fact, we need a lot of business trainers, business consultants. We need a lot because the work is a lot. And another thing, young people do not submit to training when it comes to business. They're like, oh, we want to pay. We have bills to pay. We want to pay. It doesn't work like that. In the time you learn business, sometimes you don't make money. You have to sacrifice something for something. So the period you are learning business, you are learning the act, you are learning the skill. You might not make enough money that might take care of your whole self, but you might just have something doing on the side to just pay your bills as you grow. But people do not want to do that. They want to just come boom into this space, because if you're going to learn business, learning takes time. So people, they don't want to go through the process of learning business from the scratch, because like as a business consultant, I have people who have been training in business for 4 years, 5 years. So before I train you in business, I have to know what your orientation about business is before now. So if I discover you have a zero experience, zero knowledge, the first thing I do is to send you to a business school. Go and have like a basic training on finance. Or let you be able to manage your own business finance. You'll be able to write your books. You'll be able to pay your taxes. So first thing, go and get at least a minimal MBA, or just go on YouTube and just watch videos, or go online and read. And I encourage a lot of reading. Then I push people to go for seminars, go for conferences, just gather enough knowledge for general business, not even the area you are even going to be building on. That's why I say this: a business takes a lot of reading. And I'm an advocate of reading. I have very big library personally. I read, and people that don't read cannot really thrive in business because business is knowledge based.
That's quite interesting to know that business is knowledge based,
Yeah.
because I thought business was abracadabra. You put the magic together, you get it working, and all of a sudden you're already cashing out. No, you know, we look at it from the surface and we think that is one abracadabra.
No.
Forgive me for thinking it's abracadabra,
Yeah, forgive
but
me.
it's fine. So let's even talk about Abuja in itself. Investors that want to come into Abuja, what sectors should they be looking out for, even at this point in time?
That's a very beautiful question. Majorly, Abuja is going to be going towards agriculture anytime soon. They're already going into agriculture, but let me tell you, Abuja should like chase agriculture like their life depends on it. They have the land. They have the land in themselves and in their environs. So if Abuja pushes into agriculture, external bodies are going to be investing into agriculture a lot. The world is going to agriculture because America, they don't have lands again. They don't even have the soil for some kind of plants to grow, but they need the food. Nigeria can think towards agriculture and just focus on exportation. It's going to help the economy of the country.
In the face of kidnapping and high level of insecurity, Dr. Lydia, you're suggesting we go into agriculture in
Yeah.
Abuja.
Yeah, that's our only way out of this whole crisis. Well, I feel like I've come to understand that the government should take security more seriously than they are already, right? Because security is affecting the finance of the country already, and it's going to be affecting the finances more when it comes towards investors. Investors will not want to come and put their money where they will be kidnapped. You understand? And where kidnapping or insecurity will affect their investments, right? So I think if the government wants to grow the economy, they should invest in security, and don't worry, we will invest in agriculture.
All right. So outside agriculture, which other sector will a person want to even look into in terms of coming into? The investors are willing to come in,
Yeah.
believing that Abuja has everything it takes, like you've rightly mentioned,
Yeah.
to be able to make ends meet. But at least let's talk about other sectors right now.
So we have real estate, right? So people feel like, oh, the real estate market in Abuja is saturated. It's not really saturated. It's just coming. Actually, if you go to Lagos, you will know the real estate in Abuja is just coming. We have a lot of untapped land. We have Pape that is just coming up. We have Wassa. We have Karishi. We have a lot of lands that we don't even know where the borders of Abuja. We don't know the boundaries. They are lands that even there are lands in the center of town that are underdeveloped or undeveloped, right? So I think real estate is another very good aspect for people to invest in when it comes to Abuja, because whether you like it or not, Abuja is the capital territory and people will always drive back to this place, and housing is already a problem. I'm telling you, many people do not have houses. So real estate is a thing that we continue to grow. So anybody that wants to invest in business should actually look at real estate as a very good opportunity to invest.
I thought you want to also mention in terms of Abuja tourism or aspect of Abuja. I don't know if that's, you are the one that studied the models. I'm just thinking aloud.
Okay. For tourism in Abuja, I think Abuja is still growing on that. We have some tourist sites, but not really serious. This aspect of Nigeria hasn't really worked on their tourism potency, or let's say ability to have tourist attraction to themselves. They don't really have a lot of tourist sites like that, so they only have museums here and there, but no, I don't think Abuja is a tourist location.
So some of the businesses you've mentioned so far, in terms of agriculture, in terms of real estate, and I know some imaginable business you're trying to pitch right now. But if one puts, what's the return on investment like, even on those businesses?
Ooh, agriculture is beautiful.
What's the return on investment?
Agriculture can give you between 50 to 30, depends on what you are investing in. If you're investing in cash crop like all this palm oil, cocoa, those are blood money. Those, because those ones are export materials from the beginning. Cocoa is off the border. You can export that one. So it depends on whatever you're planting. So you can get between 10 to 30% increment on investment, return on investment. Yeah, right. So you can get up to 30%, even if not 50. Depends on what you are planting. So if you can take the risk to go into serious cash crop, you have made it.
But speaking of cash crop, do we have that kind of land in Abuja that can even take out, do some of these cash crops, even as it stands?
Yes, I think we do. There are some lands in Guagala that mostly that as that have been reserved for agriculture. We have lands in Kuje that were reserved for farming, right? We have lands in Abuja. Oh, don't play. Abuja has lands. Abuja has lands. So just that all these the commercial lands are gradually being converted to residential because of the housing crisis we have in Abuja. But I still feel like even at that we have enough land if we want to farm. But I feel like Abuja has good neighbors that can, give us space to plant if we want to take agriculture very seriously.
All right. Uh, Dr. Lydia, let's talk about the housing challenge in Abuja. It's becoming very challenging.
Yeah.
Especially the sector, we're having high rise of what they call it, agents that are playing with people's intelligence in Abuja. Are you also consulting along this line?
Yeah, I've done some projects on real estate consulting.
So do you have consultants that also consult for the agents so that they can at least shield their sword?
Yes.
In terms of giving us better housing and not inflict the price of housing and causing housing deficits even within the Federal Capital Territory?
I like that you understand what's actually going on.
No, we are all in Abuja, so that's why we're talking. You're the consultant. You're the one on the field. You understand the models of, probably you have a model that they don't know, and that's how they were using to do some of the things that they do to us. But it's fair. So let's hear you talk about them.
So well, real estate in Abuja is very funny and at the same time very cranky, because the agents have taken it up on themselves to inflate properties that are not their own, and causing scarcity where there is even none at the level, right? So I think that agents real estate business should be retaught. Like they should teach agents real estate business properly, so they will understand that real estate business is not a one-time chunk off business. It's a profit as it grows business. So you don't take somebody's property of like 100 million and add 50 million to it. Why? Is it your own? When it's not your own, right? But we see this is happening in Abuja, and I feel it's completely wrong. You don't have the right to do such things. I think that there should be laws that should be like drafted to give agents a limit of profit they can make. And well, I also come to understand that because these agents, they're not well educated. They don't know what they are getting themselves involved in. Because if anything backfire in that project, you will pay that 50 million naira you took. Because the owner that you give 100 million naira is not going to pay 150. No. And I've seen situations whereby let me tell you, agents are in jail. Let me just tell you, there are many agents that are in jail. Why? Because they don't understand the business of real estate properly. So there are courses that agents should take to understand that real estate is a gradual business, not a chunk of one's business. Because you are killing somebody else's business while you are over profiting as a realtor, what they call the agent. Yes. You are killing off somebody else. You are causing the person delay in his business. You are causing the person business stagnation. You are tying down his money. Because why? You are insisting on a huge profit that is it's not reasonable, and you are pushing off his clients. So I think agents should go to business schools and understand the model of business. Agents should understand property law and come to understand that if anything goes south, you are the one going to jail. If they understand these things, they will be careful.
Well, Dr. Lydia, there's one area when we talk about Abuja conversations and profit making and opportunities in Abuja. that sometimes people don't like to talk even on air, and that is the area of natural resources. Now, you've mentioned quite a few opportunities even in Abuja. Are we saying that there are no natural resources that even young people can venture into and make profit out of it even within the Federal Capital Territory?
The business of natural resources is a very interesting business. It's not as easy as you want to talk about it because it's a very touchy business. Well, natural resources are not just resources you just pick on the streets. They have to be discovered. They have to be studied. There's a lot of research that goes into discovering natural resources, right? And I think that that should be left for the people that do that.
Well,
That's a business. That's a business I personally don't want to talk about
okay.
because it's a very touchy business, right? And there are people on it, right? So I think if the young people want to understand the business of natural resources, they should go for mentorship. There are people that are already in that business. You cannot come from outside the business and want to get into the business. You should get into the business and understand the business and understand the people that are in the business before you try to open your own leg in that business. Because the business of natural resources is like oil business, and people that have oil wells, they almost know all themselves. So you cannot just come into the you understand that this OPEC association, the people that own all the oil stuff, right? They have an association. I think the people that do all this mining, their own site, they also have like a get together. They have a group. So you can't come from outside and just break in. I say, let me tell you one problem I have with my generation or the younger generation is that they don't want to follow orders. They don't want to follow instructions. They don't want to learn. They don't want to be mentored. Let me tell you, anybody that doesn't take mentorship seriously will not go far. One thing about the older generations that made them outlive, that might make them do better than us, is that they take training seriously. They take submission seriously. They take mentorship seriously. Any business you must go into, even if it's oil drilling, you must go for training and mentorship. Once you want to do well in business, that's something you should take very seriously. So even if you want to go into mineral resources, do you, but make sure you go for mentorship from the right people. So that's my only opinion about that.
Dr. Lydia, this is Abuja.
Thank you.
And we spoke about the inequalities that have tend to play out at the beginning of this conversation.
Yeah.
Now, let's take that to the mentorship programs. A lot of people that do business, that their business are thriving in Abuja, tend to shut their doors when it has to do with mentorship. So most youth, we allege that most of them tend to shut their doors and not want to open up for young people to even want to learn from them. How do we begin to talk to those people to open up so people, they can have mentees?
Okay, so I don't think what we lack is actually mentors. What we lack is the heart of the true heart of mentees, right? People go into mentorship, giving their mentors a time. Oh, you understand? It's like you go into your classroom, I tell your teacher, I give you 3 months to finish primary 3. You see, that's how people go into mentorship. They have a deadline in their head. They have. I understand you've planned your life, but mentorship it's a journey, right? So the reason why mentors are kind of like conservative, they are very careful, because have mentee show you shake it before? A mentee can ruin you. I'm telling you, I've experienced it many times. Somebody that you just want to help and train can just come up today or tomorrow as a catalyst and begin to just tear you to pieces. And let me tell you, most terrible news you hear of people that are not actually true were gotten by bitter mentees that don't want to go through process. Human beings are different, and as different as they are, people are also careful of all of them. Because why would you want to keep somebody that will later bite you? So because of maybe 1 or 2 situations whereby mentees have dealt with people, so people are now very, very careful. They only take people that are very serious. If you notice, if you observe, mentorship are no longer free. You have to pay for it, because they're not doing it so that you too can be committed to your own mentorship training. right? But when you pay for it, you will stay through the process because your money is involved. But when it was free, they were not taking it serious. They will come to them, they will call tomorrow and be like, I can't make it. They're not serious people. They're not serious people, and I don't think it will work without mentorship. It won't work. The only way out that can maybe bypass for mentorship for some time is good knowledge. Maybe you will read and read and read and read and attend seminars, conferences, but one thing that mentorship does for you, it gives you a leverage while you are climbing in life. Let me give you a beautiful example. You see, you are a presenter, right? So if you have a mentor that is already into this thing to a high level, do you know you'll be exposed to good opportunities? A lot of beautiful things you'll be exposed to. Why? And as he trains you, you understand the pros and cons. So the mistakes you are supposed to make, you make a lot of it. Why? Somebody is holding you by the hand. And when it's time to grow in your career, somebody is there to teach you how to grow, how to increase your income, how to do this, how to do that. Right? That's what mentorship is. Mentorship makes your journey easy. But the problem is that the mentees are not really committed to their mentorship.
All right, just before we begin to pack our things and leave the studio, let's look at the issues around consulting in Abuja. Now, it is often believed that most consultants in Abuja, if you want to embark on the consulting business in Abuja, you have to probably look for alternative source of income.
Yeah.
Because you might be dying soon, allegedly dying soon, because it is not private in Abuja. And that's the narrative. So I don't know.
I won't say it's forced.
Okay, so when you talk about consulting business, is it a business line that one should think of embarking on even in the Federal Capital Territory?
Like I told you, you asked me a question if there are enough coaches and mentors or trainers. I told you that they are not enough. Why? Because the environment does not support these businesses.
What about consulting?
Yes, consulting is a coaching and mentorship training system. It's also a management structure, right? That's why it's called consulting, right? So like I said, the environment they don't understand consulting. That's why in Lagos, in other places, they understand it. They take it more seriously. Consultants are paid huge amount of money outside the country. I've been to some nations where consulting is a big thing. But I have a funny passion for my nation because anytime I travel out of the country, I feel concerned. I just look at them and I see how serious they take consultants because they know they cannot go far without the trainings and without the lectures and without the exposures. A consultant can train you and carry you by hand you over to a mentor because they have a consultant has everybody in his quiver. He has your mentor, he has you that is the mentee. So after he train, he can actually just cross you to a mentor and you are established for life. Because the consultant has companies that he's consulting for and he has you that needs exposure, that needs to know business. While he trains you, he can just observe that, oh, this person is serious and is committed and just cross you to somebody that can help you, that can really, really establish you. So people don't take consulting very seriously. Like you said, they will easily die soon. Yeah, because I remember when I started consulting years ago, my dear, I had to start other businesses. I'm not joking, I had to start a lot of other businesses. And I don't regret it because starting other businesses as a consultant helped me have a first-hand experience in what business consulting is. So I wasn't teaching people out of just head knowledge. I was teaching people based on my own experience, knowledge, and my own research and all my trainings, right? So I was able to apply my own information I was teaching in my own business to see for myself my own results. People will take you more seriously as a consultant if you have your own businesses and they can see that, oh, he's doing well, okay, let us take her or him seriously. Apart from that one, if you're going to go into consulting, I won't say you should be money oriented. Don't be money oriented because it doesn't really pay you at the first. It takes time to pay you. It pays you when people now understand the value you are bringing. But basically, people actually just pay for value. When they discover you actually know what you're teaching, and when you finish what you're doing, they are going to get tangible results. They'll pay you for it. But even at that, still, People do not want to pay for consulting.
Well, Dr. Lydia, on a final note, people out there want to come to the Federal Capital Territory. I've heard a lot of fantastic things about Abuja and the Federal Capital Territory. What would be your advice? Should they come or they should stay back? Are we overpopulated? Or what would you say to
We are
to
not
them?
overpopulated.
You okay?
We are not overpopulated. They should come, but they should come with the right orientation. They shouldn't come because, oh, this system is in power or that system is in power. They should come with a vision on what they want to do before they come. They should not come and be expecting the ground to open and bring food for them. The Abuja doesn't have that to give. So they should come with an idea. I would say that they should first come and spend a little time and see if this is where they want to stay, and go back and actually prepare to come to this kind of city. This kind of city is like I would say I won't say it's in New York, but I would say it's a very exposed city, but yet the people cannot match its weight. So I would say, if before you move to Abuja, Abuja has space for you, right? Just come with enough money to pay your house rents. So you don't have a problem with your landlord. Come with enough money to pay your house rent, and I think you'll be fine. You understand? But come with don't come empty-headed. Come with an idea, come with a plan, come with a vision, and come with your zeal, and come with your God I beg you.
An investor should come with what?
Investor should come with enough information, with strategy, with a plan, and clarity on what you actually want to invest in.
Otherwise,
With and with a lot of prayer warriors.
well, what is it? Thank you so much,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Lydia,
Thank
for
you so
being on the
much.
show this morning.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Now, this is how far we can go this morning. I want to say thank you so much to our guests for finding our time to be with us, even on the show this morning. And to you that is watching from across the world, I want to say thank you so much for staying with us till this time of the day. Till I come your way again, same time, do remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. I am Godwin Sunday, and from all of us here in the studio, it's bye for now.